Today we're fixing up some July 4th deviled eggs, and yes, they're gonna be red, white, and blue, so let's get cooking. Hi, I'm Melissa Diane, and if you're a home and garden lover, then you're in the right spot. To get started today, let's go over all of these ingredients for our July 4th deviled eggs. For your eggs, figure out what dish, first of all, you're going to be using. I'm using one of these little dishes like this. This was actually my great-grandmother, so we're using this today. It holds 15 deviled eggs, so I have 8 here that I've already hard-boiled. I used my egg cooker, and so if you use egg cookers, great. If not, you need to check them out. They will change your life. And I do have a video that I'll put a link for in the description. I also will put all these ingredients and all the measurements in the description below the video. So we're going to be using some eggs, obviously. We're going to use some mustard. I like the bright yellow mustard. This is some French's yellowed mustard. You can use some of the Dijon or brown mustard. I like the taste of that brown mustard a little better, but I think it kind of gives your deviled eggs more of a little dingy look, and I like it to be bright yellow. We're going to use just a touch of sour cream. We're going to be using some pickle relish. We're going to use just a pinch of salt, just a little salt, and also have a little paprika here. Now, something different you may never have done before is I'm going to be using up some crumbled little French onions, these little fried onions. They're so good in your deviled eggs. And then some bacon, some crumbled up bacon on the very top. Now, I put my bacon in the air fryer. Also, check out my video on that because I think that's just the easiest way to do bacon now. The last thing that you're going to need to actually make these truly July 4th deviled eggs is you need some food coloring. I like to use the gel food colors for something like this. You're also going to want to have some little dishes to soak your egg halves in. You want to use something glass, and so I've got a couple of bowls here, got some round ones, got some square ones, and I think we're all good and I think we're ready to go. Okay, so let me show you what I have done so far. I took all of the eggs, I went ahead and split them in half, and then I did go ahead and rake out the yolk. So I cut these in half. Try to get them as even as you can so you have plenty of room on both sides of your eggs for all of your filling. Then just take a little spoon. You can usually pop out that yolk. And then I did go and rinse out each one of these to get the little bit of the yellow residue out of there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take about a cup of warm water. I was just checking this. I'm going to put it, it's actually about a cup and a half. We're going to start with that. And then we're going to start with the blue, I think. We're going to put a few drops here. I feel like I'm doing a science experiment. About 4 drops of this blue in here. And stir that around. And now, I mean, that is blue. I may have put a little bit too much. We're going to find out. And now we're just going to drop some of these in here. I'm going to drop a few of these in and let them start soaking. There we go. Now they're going to float, so you got to push them to the bottom. Once the little hole gets filled, they'll go to the bottom. But I don't want to put too many in here at a time because I don't want them to bump up and have white spots. So I think that about 4 at a time. Let me raise it out and see how it's doing. Here we go. All right, so you can see it's getting a little bit blue, but we need it bluer than that. So we're going to let these little guys float around. Let them float around for a while. Okay, and I think what I may do is get another one here, and that way we can get them all kind of done at the same time. And I'm going to sit this one over here, and we'll get some more water. To use a piece of parchment paper, and I'm just going to put these upside down. That way the water's not staying there in that little hole. So let's take all 4 of these. These are looking really nice. Okay. As soon as we get these out, we're going to put 4 more of these in. Okay, got one more to get out, and then we're going to put these others in, and then we're going to put the, we're going to try the red ones. Okay, so we're doing good. I'll wipe these off. Let's take 4 more of these and just drop in here. There we go. We're getting good. Okay, I'm going to sink those to the bottom. Okay. And now we'll let those, we'll just kind of scoot those over here and let those soak. And now I went and I got another about 1.5 cups of warm water. Now these I want to make sure that I let them sit long enough because I don't want them to be pink. I want them to be red. So let's see. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. That ought to be good enough. And then we're going to get these all stirred up. There we go. And let's put 4 of these in. Okay. And then I will be back in a few minutes. Let's let these soak and do their thing. And I'll come back after all 8 of these have soaked and show you how we're doing. All of our eggs are dyed. We've got red and blue. They're looking good. They're just drying now. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to mix up our ingredients that we're going to be putting in the middle of our eggs. So you just want to take these. You can use a fork if you want to. I just like this little spoon right here. And we're just going to mash these up real good, and then we're going to start adding everything one item at a time. So now I have these all nice and fluffy. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put just a little bit of the mustard in. And like I said, I'll put some estimated amounts in the description below the video. I'm going to leave this here. I might want to put a little bit more in. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of sour cream. Probably comes out to maybe about a tablespoon. Let's mix that up. And at this point when you're mixing it, it's a little thick, but you have to remember we're going to be putting some of that pickle relish in. And now we're going to get ready for our relish. And this is just so easy. Now we're just going to take a little bit of relish. Now if you're wanting to have a deviled egg recipe, it has a little more kick to it possibly, check out one. I've got one that is called loaded deviled eggs, and that's got some really neat stuff in there, like jalapenos, all kinds of stuff to really make it nice and spicy. And so the time you put your pickle relish in, the juice from that pickle relish really helps to loosen this up. So if you haven't ever made this before, don't worry at first if it is a little thick. And I don't like to drain it. I like to take that pickle relish and put a little bit of that liquid in there. There we go. It should be enough. That's looking wonderful. If you can see in here, it's looking great. It's smelling really good too. Okay, so we're good on that. Now, we're going to add in a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to have you go ahead and take your bacon. And what I like to do, you can crumble it yourself. This is going to go on the very top. We're not actually going to put it in here. It's going to go on the top. Now, I might put it inside there. Here's the reason that I go back and forth on it. If you want to take your mixture here, your egg mixture, if you want to put that in one of those little like decorating tubes and you're wanting to put it through a tip and make like a really pretty fancy star on top, if you do that and you put the bacon inside of here, you're going to clog up your little baking or decorating tip, okay? So you don't want to do that. You just want to put it on the top. But I think today I may just spoon these in there. So if I just spoon them in there, then I could put some of this bacon on the inside. I think I'm going to do that. But you want to just put your bacon in a baggie. It's the easiest thing to do. You can take a rolling pin if you want and go over it, but usually you can just break it up yourself pretty good. But I think I may just put a little bit in here and then save the rest of this for the topping. I tell you what, putting bacon in here, oh my gosh, it makes such a difference. And then after that, when it comes to the salt, I just put a teeny, usually I don't cook much with salt, but I put just a little tines of that in here, just a little bit. That's really it right there. And now we're going to take just a little bit of these French onions. Now, these French fried, oh my gosh, these onions are wonderful. Usually I use them at Thanksgiving when I'm doing my green beans, but I did this once before and I really like this. Now, if you're going to use a decorating tip and want to push this through there, you might just want to put these on the top and not put them on the inside. They come pretty small, but I still like to crumble them up between my fingers some. Now I'm going to have to get my spoon here in a second, and I'm going to put a few more of these in here. I'm going to have to get my spoon here in a second, and I'm going to have to taste this and see what it tastes like. I'm going to take just a little bit of this and see if it's missing anything. Let's taste it really quick. That is good. No, I don't think it's missing anything. I think we actually hit it pretty much right on. I decided to go ahead and take my egg halves and my egg whites and go ahead and put them in my tray. Thought it'd be a little easier than trying to transport them back and forth. And so just alternate red and blue. Now mine has 15, so you have to decide, do I want red or blue next to each other over here, since I do have an odd number. And I'm just got a little bitty spoon, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in. Now, something to make note of is that you don't want this to be too thick. If it's too thick, it's hard to get your filling in. And I'm using a spoon instead of like a little piping bag because I have bacon in here, and I also have those onions. Now, I did have to go ahead and take a little bit of the juice from that pickle relish, and I had to add just a little bit more so that it was a little thinner, so it'll go in here a little better. And you just want to go around, fill each one of those up. Y'all, this is really starting to look super, super nice, and I may have it all over me. I've been tasting it for a little bit, and it does taste really good. If this is being helpful, please pop that like button. Now, let me tell you why I decided to go ahead and put them in here while I'm decorating them. I think if you get your eggs in your tray or whatever it is you're using, then it's a lot easier to go ahead and fill them up like to the brim instead of then trying to do that and then card them, because remember, they're kind of flimsy on the bottom. So go ahead, put them where you want and then fill them up. Once we get these all filled up, then we're going to put our topping on. So we're just about done. And also, if you like how we did this red, white, and blue, then you're really going to like the next video that's going to pop up here in a minute. And it's a pasta. It's a pasta for July 4th where I did some red, white, and blue. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of this bacon. We're going to put this bacon just a little bit on the top. And after we get the bacon on, then we're going to take our paprika and we're just going to gently put a little bit of paprika on each one. When you're putting your paprika on these, be careful. Normally when you're doing regular deviled eggs that are white, it kind of looks really pretty to have that paprika kind of around the edges, but not so much on these since you got them and they're blue and red. So get the paprika on there, clean them up a little bit. These are looking fantastic. So I'm going to take a little goodie for July 4th. I'm going to stick that right here in the middle. Let me hold this up for you. I think they turned out great. I hope you enjoy them. Check out that next video that's popping up. You're going to love it. I'll see you there in a few minutes. Bye-bye.